Welcome to the final lesson in this class. In this lesson, we're going to be putting all the theory and techniques we've learned and make beautiful danishes. I'm going to be explaining some different danishes with different techniques such as cream cheese, pastry cream, different fruits, and also how to assemble and bake them. So let's begin with the recipe and learn how to make amazing danishes. The first step when you make Danish pastry, what we do is we just sheet out our puff pastry dough and we basically cut it. So what that does is it gives time for the pastry to rest, as well as it gives us time to prepare what we're going to put on top of the Danish. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to sheet it out to about 45 centimeters and about 20 centimeters in breadth. So put a tiny bit of flour on top. And if it's sticking to the surface, just put more flour. And because we've rested this overnight, it should be quite easy to spread out. And always keep taking it off the surface so it doesn't stick. So that's perfect. And just a little bit more on the end. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the sides and the ends, and then I'm going to portion the pastry. So just cut the ends here. And what this will do is it will give you a clean edge when you make the pastry. Perfect. And similarly here as well. So each pastry is about 10 centimeters into 10 centimeters. So just make a mark at 10, 20, 30, and that's 40. What I'll do is I'll just cut it like that. If you want, you can even use the scale to cut it like that. And when we cut it, we just go like that. We don't drag it because we want to maintain the layers. Perfect. And now what we'll do is we'll cut it from the center. So take about 10 centimeters here and just make a mark. And then you can use a scale as well. Just try to be as even as possible. And it's okay if it's a little bit less and more here, but as long as it's as exact as possible, that's good. So that's our 8 pieces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on a tray, and then I'm going to put it in the fridge so that the butter layers set properly, and then we'll learn how to shape it. So you see the size? about 3 to 4 millimeters in your thickness. And if you want to make smaller ones, you can also make 8 centimeter squares or 9 centimeter squares. But I like to make like slightly bigger ones. Let's just arrange them on a tray. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover this with plastic wrap so you don't get any dry spots. And the puff pastry offcuts, we never throw this away. I'll show you a recipe where you can reuse it. So just wrap it in plastic. And what I also do is sometimes I just put it in the freezer, and when I have enough of this, I'll just roll it into a galette or into just some cheese curls. So this is like really good butter and dough, so don't throw this away. In this lesson, let's learn how to make a cream cheese filling for our danishes. And this is super easy. All you need is some softened cream cheese, caster sugar, and some vanilla paste. So make sure that this is really soft, because if you add the sugar and it's not soft, it'll form these lumps. So when I check this, so see how soft that is? That is perfect. So you just keep this out for maybe 1 or 2 hours and it will become soft. So I'm just going to add the sugar to this and just mix it with a spatula. And don't use a whisk to make this, because in the whisk it just gets stuck and it's not a pleasant experience. And you notice how I'm making like a really small batch, because I'm going to be showing you with pastry cream as well. If you're just making with this cream cheese filling, you can double the recipe. So you see how smooth that has become? And just at the end, I'm just going to put maybe half a teaspoon of vanilla paste. This adds like really nice flavor. And just mix that through as well. Perfect. So you have 2 options here. If you want, you can put this in a piping bag, or you can just take a spoon and just dollop it on Danish as well. While we are waiting for our first batch to cool down, let's learn a few more shapes. So for this one, I've taken a 3-inch ring. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut a semicircle like that. So just put pressure there and just twist it like that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fold it like that on the corners. So what will happen is this will lift really well and it will look really nice. The next shape we're going to be making is, I would say, the most easiest one. So what we do is we just fold all the corners like that. So this one here in the center and this one like that. Super easy, looks really nice as well. We'll just put a little bit of cream here and put some fruits. And for the last one, what we'll do is we'll just cut the corners, not all the way through, about 70% of the way through. So this will form like a border. Something like that. And the same thing in the corner as well. Perfect. And what we'll do is we'll pipe the cream here and we'll leave the corners to rise. So to finish this one, I'm just gonna put a little bit of the cream cheese filling we made. Just pipe it so it covers it really well. Perfect. And put some blueberries. The next one, I'm gonna put some pastry cream. Put some blueberries and strawberries on this one. And this one, I'm just gonna put a little bit of jam in the center. So it looks really nice when it bakes. And the last one, what I'll do is I'll just take a fork and just slightly make these incisions here because I don't want it to rise too much from the center. And if I don't do this, it'll rise too much from here. And then I'll put a little bit of pastry cream there. And I'm not going to put a fruit here. I'm going to put a fruit just at the end. So I'm going to bake this for 30 minutes at 180, just like we did the previous batch. And then I'll show you how it looks like. So this is what a Danish looks like after 30 minutes of baking. And similar to the last one, I'm just going to glaze it with some jam. And they look so beautiful. I'm going to cool them down as well for about 30 minutes. Our Danishes have been cooling down for 30 minutes now, and they look so stunning. So let's learn how you can actually finish these Danishes. Our puff pastry has been resting for 45 minutes now. So let's learn how to finally shape the Danishes. So let's begin with the first shape. This is one of my favorite ones. It's called the pinwheel. So what you do is you cut just off center the side and make sure not to cut the whole thing. Like it shouldn't be like this. It should be just a little bit far away. So you have a little bit of gap here. Perfect. And then to stick it, like some people put jam here, some people put cream here as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick it and I'm going to put it on top of that. So just take one end and press it in the center. Similarly, you take this end and press it in the center. And then this end goes in the center as well. And then the far end. So then this is your pinwheel. So this is one of the easiest ones and it looks so beautiful. So I'm going to set this aside and my cream cheese filling, I'll put it in the center. Let's learn this one again. So you watch closely. In the center. So you see how my knife is close to the center but not exactly touching it. Because if it touches it, it'll just fall apart. Perfect. Perfect. So this time what I'll do is I'll just put a little bit of orange jam in the center. Just so that it'll give a different texture. Just about half a teaspoon. And then you just stick it just like the last time. And then I'll pipe my cream cheese filling in the center here. So this is a different texture. You can try this one as well. And just put it on your baking tray. Really gently so it doesn't break. So let's learn the second shaping method. We take our square and we just fold it equally. So don't touch it, just gently fold it like that. And then what we do is we basically take it about roughly ½ inch from here, and just like that through, and the same thing there as well. Perfect. So what this will do is it'll make this really nice and beautiful shape like that, and then the same thing there as well. So in the gap we'll be putting some pastry cream, and this is one of my favorite shapes actually. Once it bakes, it looks really beautiful. Let's learn how to do this again. You just basically fold it in half, and then you take a thin strip here and try to keep it even here as well. Perfect. Just fold it out really gently and try to keep it on this side, just like that, and on the side here. So you get this really nice shape. So I've got 4 of my danishes here on a tray, and the rest of them I've put it back in the fridge. So I'm going to show you different combinations of how you can finish these danishes, and let me show you my mise en place for that. So let's have a look at the prep I have for finishing these danishes. I have some blueberries and strawberry, cream cheese frosting, my pastry cream, and some orange jam. So just having this ready when you have the danishes shaped will really help you get a really good flow when you're working. So let's finish them and bake them. So the first one here, I'm going to put some cream cheese in the center, and I'm also going to put some blueberries on top of it. Just put about 4 of them, and when the blueberry bakes, it will sort of become really jammy and it will be really tasty. So that's the first one. The second one here, I'm going to put the cream cheese. I've got strawberries here, which I've cut into half. So just arrange them sort of really nicely. Perfect. Third one with the jam, I'm going to put a little bit more jam in there. Perfect. So we've got 2 layers of jam, and that's it. This is going to be just a jam danish. The fourth one, I'm going to pipe pastry cream. Perfect. And I'm also going to put a combination of blueberries and strawberries. And you can use other berries here as well. You can use raspberries, you can use apples. It's completely up to you. Just perfect. So these are our danishes, which are ready to bake. I'm going to bake this for 30 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius, and then I'm going to show you how they look like. This is our final puff pastry, and it looks so beautiful. So I baked this for about 30 minutes, and I really like this color, just like golden. It's not too light but not too dark as well. I really like this one. So what I'm going to do now is just glaze this with some apricot jam so that it looks really shiny. So I just heated some apricot jam and just glaze the sides. So you have to do this when the pastry is hot, because the heat of the pastry will make it melt and sort of stick to the glaze. And the reason we glaze the pastry is to preserve it and also to give it a nice shine. So after glazing the pastry, I'm going to put it on a cooling rack so that it can dry out really nicely. So you can see the layers really well. So I'm going to cool this down for at least 30 minutes and then we're going to cut it and see how it looks like. To finish this Danish, I'm going to put some fresh pastry cream and some strawberries, blueberries and some kiwi. You can put any fruit you want, honestly. Anything will taste nice with this Danish. So let's begin. So you can do it a few ways. I'm just going to show you the most easiest one. Just pipe some pastry cream like that. Perfect. And just arrange it, as randomly as possible so it looks very natural. Let's put some berries. And also when you put the pastry cream, you need to consume it within 2 to 3 hours because the pastry cream will make it a little bit soggy. So do this right before you're serving. Put some kiwi. And whatever gaps I have, I'll just put a few blueberries in here. Just make it look as natural as possible. Perfect. It looks amazing. That actually looks better than a pastry shop. So you can definitely make this at home. And to finish it, and this is really optional, I'm just going to put some flower petals, which I got from my garden. And you can put any edible flower, you can even put mint. So this is the final product. This is the final Danish. It looks so beautiful. So I'm going to take a bite and see how it tastes like. So the pastry is slightly savory, but the fruits are slightly tangy and the pastry cream is sweet. So it just complements everything so well. So let's learn how to finish this pastry. And you could eat this just as is. It's just a simple jam Danish. But I'm going to put some pastry cream on top just to give a different texture. Just in the center. And then I'm going to put some strawberries in the center. So these are just strawberries which I cut in third. And just arrange them. Perfect. So you see how it gets a little bit more height when I arrange them. That looks really nice. And to finish it, you can put a little bit of icing sugar on top. So that's our final Danish. And the icing sugar makes it really nice as well. So that's another way you can finish it. So our blueberry Danish, I'm going to put some pastry cream and finish it with fruits. So I've cut the kiwis like this, just to give them some height. Just arrange it So it's upwards, and put a couple of blueberries on the side just for different color, and finish it with some strawberries so that it just gets a nice color contrast here, and also give it height so it looks really pretty. And you can see like beautiful layers here. It's risen so well. So these are our final dishes, and they all look so nice. And I hope you could learn a lot from this class, and I've showed you different methods of finishing it. So when you make it at home, try to experiment with different fruits and different flavors.